My
Mhm.
boss, who I was working as an associate under, had gotten long COVID. So then she was out for basically a year, which forced me to kind of take over the office management positions that she was
Yeah.
mostly doing, as well as seeing the patient load. So I wasn't seeing the growth that I wanted. We were kind of just maintaining, and it had been
Yeah.
a long enough period of time. I couldn't tell you, maybe like 3 to 6 months or so, where I'm like, we've been very stagnant in terms of actual
Mm.
patient growth and the amount of patients that we're seeing on a week-to-week
Yeah.
basis. I needed to do something. My
Okay.
own in-house marketing systems just weren't bringing in enough new patients that I needed
Mm.
to keep the practice thriving. But in order to see patients, you do need a good marketing system. And we just didn't have any luck with any previous companies that we had
Yeah.
hired. So I had very cold feet, let's say, when I had started initially with you. A big reason on why I didn't, why I was like, I need to hire somebody else for,
Yeah.
outside marketing is I just needed support. I'm a one doc office.
Yeah.
Make more income. So that's part of the, hey, this stagnant
Yeah.
aspect of the business. We
For
need some more
sure.
growth because we need some more income to support myself and my family.
This year we spent $52.35, so $5,235, which has led to about 39 new patients coming into the practice.
The best thing is that I'm not having to bend over backwards to be trying to get these individuals to get the patients
Yeah.
on the schedule. Your team did a really good job with communicating with them,
Yeah.
making them feel heard, being personalized with them. And just overall, it was just really easy working with you guys. You guys made it very simple in terms of if you needed something, you messaged me really quickly, and I got to it as soon as I could, and it just was a smooth, easygoing process. And I continuously have
Yeah.
people coming in. So I would say the biggest thing would be peace of mind. In terms of freeing up my time, I would say I've actually been probably more busy just because all the patients have been coming in, which is not a problem. It's a great thing in trying to rebuild, and Chiro Jump has been a very helpful part in that rebuilding process. My name is Dr. Jacob McNamara. I practice in Lake Bluff, Illinois, suburb of Chicago, and I practice chiropractic with a rehab-based focus as well as functional medicine.
Love it. Love it. And can you walk me through, like, I know your story is vast, but can you walk me through like the past few years before we really started diving into this, the
Sure.
marketing and before we even met maybe the first time?
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Okay, yeah. So I started as a chiropractor in the heat of COVID. So I started my preceptorship right
Yep.
outside of school. I don't recommend it for anybody, but if you have to do it, you got to do it. And that was a challenge in and of itself, just because the practice had taken a big hit. I had joined
Yeah.
into a practice that had been running very well for around 30 years by the time I stepped in, and then we were managing that, and then when I started full time after graduating, about a month into me practicing as a professional licensed doctor, my
Mhm.
boss, who I was working as an associate under, had gotten long COVID. So then she was
Mm.
out for basically a year, which forced me to kind of take over the office management positions that she was
Yeah.
mostly doing, as well as seeing the patient load. And it was a very hard time, but led to a lot of growth, and eventually me taking over the practice a couple years ago. And since then, been trying to rebuild, and Chiro Jump has been a very helpful part in that rebuilding process.
Yeah. What were some of like the challenges maybe when you first took it over before learning the marketing side and everything there? Because I know when you took it over, I think this is a long time ago,
Mhm.
but I think were you guys working with another company at first and that just didn't turn out all too well? Or what was like
Yeah,
the
before we had officially switched the business into my name.
Yeah.
We were trying to build up the practice a little bit from the
Yeah.
hit we had taken during COVID. So we had hired other marketing companies, and um, you really don't get a whole lot of marketing experience in chiropractic school. You really are learning how to treat patients,
Right.
which is obviously the most important thing of what we do.
Mhm.
But in order to see patients, you do need a good marketing system. And we just didn't have any luck with any previous companies that we had
Yeah.
hired. So I had very cold feet, let's say, when I had started initially with you guys.
Yeah. Do you remember how we met initially?
Yeah, I think I don't know how you guys got my email or how I got onto the list or
Mm,
whatever, but you guys
yeah.
reached out to me. Um, just kind of like a get to know you type of interview, and I don't
Yeah.
know, I just kind of liked you guys were starting up, and I don't know, it felt a good vibe.
Yeah. Let's go. Let's go.
Mhm.
What was like the thing you said that you had cold feet at the beginning? Like what made you decide to like say yes and like, hey, let's try this out and see what this is about?
I needed to do something. My
Okay.
own in-house marketing systems just weren't bringing in enough new patients that I needed
Mm,
to keep the practice thriving.
yeah. Okay. So just like that needing to do something and like you have to make the choice at some point to
Yeah.
move forward.
So it's kind of a
Okay.
leap of faith, if you
Yeah.
will.
Yeah, for sure. What was like that first experience? I would love to know, like, maybe with all the marketing you've done,
Uh-huh.
what the experience has been overall with like the how it's been solved versus now, and like maybe some of the differences between those. Because I'd love to kind of get a better feel for like why you feel like some of them haven't worked over the years, um, and then lead into why you feel like this one is.
Um, I think maybe the previous companies, honestly, I think it could have been incompetence. I'm not really sure exactly. It just seemed like on their end, they weren't really doing what they had promised at the beginning that they would do.
Mm, yeah.
And we just heard a lot of crickets, essentially. We did what they would tell us to do. And then when we follow up, nothing would really happen.
Mm, okay. So like no one's scheduling and that kind of deal.
No one's scheduling, even like
Yeah.
the reps that we would talk with within their companies, they just
Mhm.
weren't the most help for us.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
Gotcha. You mentioned that you needed to do something like right
Yeah.
beforehand. What was like the eventual just like, okay, like no, today is the day we're making that move. Like I guess what was happening in the practice, or
Oh, that's a
what
good
was the
question.
numbers looking like that back then that led you to
Hmm.
feeling that way and making the choice to move forward?
I guess I wasn't seeing the growth that I wanted. We were kind of just maintaining, and it had been
Yeah.
a long enough period of time. I couldn't tell you, maybe like 3 to 6 months or so, where I'm like, we've been very stagnant in terms of actual
Mm,
patient growth and the amount of patients that we're seeing on a week to week
yeah.
basis. And I just knew that I had to do something because if I didn't do anything, then we would keep going down that path. And then I would be in a bad position to where I really, really have to do something.
I hear that. And I remember talking about that back in like I think it was December, I want to say.
I think so,
And then
yeah.
back again in January or something. It was something like that.
Mhm.
Towards the end of last year. But I remember talking a lot about that and how crazy things were. And there's a lot of personal stuff too, I feel like was
Yeah.
probably contributing. But
Oh, yeah, definitely that. Yeah, the family
yeah.
growing definitely played a role. Bringing kids into the house, I didn't know if that's what you were looking for exactly. I thought you were free practice. So, yeah, I did need to
Yeah.
make more income, so that's part of the, "Hey, this stagnant,"
Yeah,
aspect of the business. We
for
need some more
sure.
growth because we need some more income, to support myself and my family.
How have things been going since then? So I know I have some of the numbers here, but would love to know like even just the feel in the practice. Like what has that been like since we started working together?
Things have just been a lot more positive, just a lot like really good vibes. Oh,
Mhm.
now I remember a big reason on why I didn't, why I was like, I need to hire somebody else for,
Yeah.
outside marketing is I just needed support. I'm a one doc office, and I like to
Yeah.
handle everything in house as much as possible.
Yeah.
I handle my website, I handle my emails, I create my content for social media, all that kind of stuff. Um,
Hmm.
but it wasn't all the stuff we were doing in terms of our in-house marketing just really wasn't bringing in that patience. And I was just too
Right.
exhausted to where it's like, look, I can't learn to do the ads myself. I just need to hire a competent company that I trust and
Yeah.
that are going to stick with their promises that they make.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. I love it.
Okay.
What was like, I guess so after making that call to say like,
Mhm.
okay, cool, I need this, let's move
Mhm.
forward. What have like some of the results been like? Walk me through how the practices felt since doing that. And then I know I can give you some of the numbers right here.
Yeah.
But we have since starting this year, we've spent $52.35, so $5,235, which has led to about 35 new patients coming into the practice, or I'm sorry, 39 new patients coming into the practice. And then would love to know like how that's felt in practice with the quality of patients and how things have been going there. Because I know revenue is a
Mhm.
little different because we're kind of doing the per visit basis.
Yeah. So the vibe in the practice has been great. The
Hmm.
best thing is that I'm not having to bend over backwards to be trying to get these individuals to get the patients on
Yeah.
the schedule. So I think even then just coming in for that initial appointment, I'm in a
Hmm.
better headspace because I didn't already put in all this effort that I don't know is going to,
Yeah.
come into fruition or whatever. So it was just really low maintenance for me in terms of
Yeah.
the patients coming in. They did feel comfortable too. Your team did a really good job with communicating with them,
Yeah.
making them feel heard, being personalized with them, and then also providing me the notes for when the patient did come in. There was already a little bit of rapport, I felt like,
Right.
as the patients were coming in, and it was just a really smooth process.
Yeah.
Just from the beginning, getting them in for that initial appointment, and then once they were in my office, kind of doing my own thing, and then establishing them as long-term patients.
Yeah, love it, love it. I'm glad it's been that smooth. What I guess like what are some of the things that have surprised you about coming back? Because we worked together before.
Mhm.
This is like a year and a half ago. I want to say like it was
Something
like
like
a
that.
while
Yeah.
back. It was
I
a
think it
while
was like
back,
2
but
years ago, like right around now.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But like, how have things changed? Like, what have you seen now that's been like behind the scenes? Maybe you didn't expect to be different, but you came back and you're like, oh wow, like this is like different experience altogether.
Well, I guess just in terms of the patients that have been coming in,
Hmm.
sometimes when you do run a Facebook ad, you can get some colorful people, we'll say. I think the
Okay.
vetting process through the phone call was really helpful
Yeah.
to get some really good quality leads actually coming into the
Hmm.
office. So one pleasant thing is when I had run ads in the past and we had gotten some new
Yeah.
patients coming in, the patient quality was just not as high as I would say
Mm,
with pretty much all the patients that you guys had brought in. Everybody
yeah.
was very motivated when they came in and had a
Yeah.
specific
I love
goal
it.
um,
Yeah.
with our care plan. So that was kind of a nice surprise, especially with running ads.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't know what you're going to get. And I would say the quality of the leads that we got were phenomenal. Um, and just overall, it was just really easy working with you guys. I remember the first time that we had worked with you guys, that you guys had a little bit of a different system where you had
Hmm.
one thing you could do it yourself in the office, making the phone call, setting up the patients, and then the other one you guys would do yourself. I opted for the discounted option, which was doing it in the office, and that just ended up being too much of a hassle for us here in the office. So that was just also just a really nice surprise was just how little work I actually had to do in terms of the marketing ad, um, and just getting the patients in the door. You guys made it very simple in terms of if you needed something, you messaged me really quickly,
Yeah.
and I got to it as soon as I could, and it just was a smooth, easygoing process.
Let's go. Let's go. I love it. I love it. Is there anything else you'd want to share with somebody that's like debating taking that next step or even hopping on a call or anything like that? Like, would love to know what other experiences you could share personally.
Yeah, I would just say you guys are like men of your word. You guys will do what you promise to do, and if there's problems, it's really you guys are really easy to get a hold of. Communicate the problems, discuss it, troubleshoot, and then come up with any sort of solution for it. So I would just
Yeah.
say, in terms of competence and quality of service that you guys provide, you guys are top of the line.
And thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you for that. I really appreciate it. Yeah, that means the world, seriously. And that's just like the fight to do that every day.
good.
That's why we're here.
Love it.
Yeah, I appreciate that so much. I guess, like, all in all, what has this allowed you to do differently in your personal life? Like, kind of connecting the practice's growth to now personal, whether it be finances or time or energy just now at home. How has that impacted you in your life?
Well, a lot more peace of mind just knowing that
Yeah.
my schedule is looking good. It's been filled. And I continuously have
Yeah.
people coming in. So I would say the biggest thing would be peace of mind. In terms of freeing up my time, I would say I've actually been probably more busy just because all the patients have been coming in, which is not a problem. It's a great thing. That's one of the reasons why I do want to take a little bit of break to get the
Yeah.
family time before we really ramp it up again. But yeah, it's been really good. It works really good with my schedule if we do it like this, just kind
Yeah.
of our yearly seasonal schedule.
Hmm.
With my wife being in the academia, kids being in school, when run ads during the fall, run ads during the spring, winter, summer, let your hair down a little bit. You can see, relax. That's the plan.
There we go.
Mhm.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Okay. No, that makes a ton of sense. And then I guess like last thing, like what would you share with somebody that's like on the edge, like, man, I don't know if I should take this, like take the next, I don't know if I should schedule a call or get to know them anymore. Like, is there anything you would say to that person that's kind of like debating if they
Yeah.
should?
I would say give it a try because I guarantee at the very least you will make your money back. And in the process, you will most likely at least gain a handful of really good lifelong patients.
Yeah. Yeah. Love it. Love it. So if you're watching this and you're like, hey, should I do it? Worst thing that happens by booking a call is like we're not a great fit. And best thing that happens is it ends up working out amazingly. We're able to drive more new patients, more revenue to the practice, help you build the dream practice that you've been wanting. So yeah, book a time.